Welcome back, YouTubers. Johnny Boy Lopez here, back for another installment of the Indie Experiment, and I'm here with a very special guest who let me into the lab today. BUB, man, how you doing?
Well, how you doing?
Good, bro. I thank you
you
for having me here, man. And I'm excited to get into this conversation, man. So,
I'm from Sacramento, California.
hey,
Born and raised.
okay.
Still here.
How was your upbringing out here?
My upbringing out here was not too bad. It could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot better. But I felt like I had it pretty good, honestly. Like, I can't complain. You know, like, I'm half white, half Mexican.
Dope.
My parents had me at 19. I grew up with them. They had a strong support system behind them. Mexicans being family oriented, and my white side being white privileged.
Yeah.
I kind of had, you know, my white side was white privileged, and my Mexican side, they migrated here and immigrated here from Mexico. So I was able to see both sides, you know what I'm saying? And I have the appreciation for both sides, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and I'm trying to kind of slightly bridge that gap in a way, like, not like, I don't know, not for like white people and like, you know, Mexicans to be more on the same side, but just the gap in the sense of like helping the lower side of my family bridge to the more wealthier side of my family in a way. And not that my wealthy side is like hella wealthy, but you know what I'm saying? They have good credit, you know what I'm saying? They purchased their house, you know, things like that, things that matter. That
Definitely.
a lot of Americans are trying to strive to be that way, but because they were never led in the correct way, because they were never given knowledge of how to exactly build credit and keep credit, because they don't teach that shit in school, you know? So they relied upon to learn that from their parents. My dad didn't have a dad. My dad's mother barely speaks English now. So therefore, you know what I'm saying? Like his chances of doing anything were, you know, slim to none compared to my mother. My mother, her parents, you know, full English, and you know, here, and you know, they don't have their own business, but you know, they worked and they're retired, and you know what I'm saying? They went through that system, and you know what I'm saying? So they know how to play that game a lot better than what my dad's side does. But
So you learned a lot from both sides, and were able to apply it into what you do now.
Correct. I film. Most people know me for filming.
Yeah.
A lot of people know me for filming. I direct, I edit, I shoot, photography, videography. A lot of people know me for music videos, but I'm trying to get out of that box and branch out. There's a lot of cannabis brands right now that because cannabis went legal, a lot of these brands need content for promotion, and especially because of COVID, you know, a lot of people can't be out and about promoting. They have to promote from their phones and their computers, you know what I'm saying? So they need content. Like, they can't just keep posting it. I'm rolling up today, like, you know what I'm saying? So trying to help these brands develop content, and because there's no leaders of content within the cannabis industry right now, like, there's some people doing it, but there's no like big like leaders, you know. It's like even cookies, they're not doing like hella big content for their weed, you know what I'm saying? It's all like merchandise, you know what I'm saying?
I even seen you do cookies for
their
their opening, and I mean, from what you're describing, I mean, it does give a good promotional aspect to what they got going on, especially to the occasional person that maybe doesn't smoke cannabis or maybe wants to get into cannabis, and they see something like that that's done well and professionally. It might lead them to go, let me go check that out.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Cannabis was something that they used to do way back in the day. I'm talking about for the older people. What they used to do way back in the day, and then it's like, oh, like, I'm now older, I need to be a member of society, but now it's legal, like, so let me dabble back into that. But a lot of people are scared to dabble back into it because it's changed so much. They're like, oh, I can't smoke this stuff. But really, you just have to know what you're smoking, you know what I'm saying? You have to know the quality and the type, as well as indoor, outdoor, as well as
know your dosage, man.
Right, as well as sativa, indica, hybrid. Like, you have to know yourself and your body in order to, because it's medication at the end of the day.
Yes.
So you have to know what you're able to take and what, you know what I'm saying, is going to help you feel better, depending on how you're feeling initially, you know? I was the manager at Collective Efforts, which turned into Connected.
Okay.
I was a manager there for 2 years of the store.
So you're very in depth of like the cannabis industry, and
industry,
you,
right.
you have like the knowledge of like terpenes and stuff like
all
that.
shit, right,
That's
and
dope.
in Sacramento. So like, remember the smoker that I met you at? In
Yeah,
Fresno?
definitely.
Back in 2015, I was the first person here in Sacramento. We threw it here. We threw it for 4 months every Friday. We threw those events.
Oh, okay.
And ain't nobody ever did it before. Jay Diggs used to come set up his booth here.
Yeah.
Like I've shot a couple of videos for him. Him and I know each other and shit or whatever. But he used to come set up his booth here. We used to have like 20, 30 vendors, medicated hot wings, cotton candy, chocolate, medicated chocolate bacon, medicated nachos, medicated ice cream, medicated smoothies, frosties, like you name it, bro. We fucking had that shit here. We had people live blow. We had people blowing glass. We was standing up there throwing shit off the fucking shit at people. We had a whole crowd of people. All these couches we moved outside.
That's dope. That's dope. And I mean, you could even say that kind of trendsetted a whole industry of pop-up shops. And that's dope. That's dope that you were on the forefront of something like that, to see it and then at its infancy and to see what it's grown into.
Because like, I wasn't a big weed smoker until I realized, oh, weed gets me in different rooms that people who don't smoke weed does not. You know? And like, not to say it was like the cool crowd, but it was the crowd who thought outside of the box. It was the crowd who was not trying to live by society's rules that have been implemented, that have been, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like, that already sparked me. Even like, I don't skateboard. I tried it once and fell on my ass when I was like 8, and then I've never skateboarded again. But even just the skateboarding culture intrigues me, just based on how it's just carefree and just do what makes me happy at the time. You know? And so taking that type of culture but applying it to, I love music. And so my dad got me on music when I was younger. Used to go to sleep to oldies and shit, you know what I'm saying? Fucking my first when I was like 5, I was at my white uncle's wedding, and he was able to see it and realize it. He got me a tape, my first tape that I ever got as a gift, Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Oh.
Their first project on
dope.
tape. That's what led me to my job at the Cannabis Club. You know, they were like, hey, like, you just want to come in and work a couple hours, like, and just kind of like, you know, you kind of are popping in the community, like, you want to just help bring some people this way, like, I got in there and was like, oh, y'all need to change everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on now, like, you know, and it was just more because I used to work at the Apple Store, and so at the Apple Store I worked there for 6 years, and I quit the Apple Store to come open up this place. 4 years later, I got offered the job at the Cannabis Club, and I was like, wait a minute, like, you have everything on Wi-Fi. You guys have how many computers, and everything's running slow, and your POS system is online? Okay, we need to hardwire all these computers. We got to get Comcast back out here. We got to upgrade the motherfucking internet. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's TVs out here. Need to motherfucking have the menu digitally. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to take pictures of everything. We got to get content up. Like, I flipped that whole store and became the store manager. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so you, just by showing your initiative and having a little bit of knowledge, you were able to, you know, take a step up in that career.
And I didn't really want to, but I was like, why not? Like, you know, and it went from not legal to legal. So I was like, fuck, like, this is dope, you know, and now it's crazy because now it's like, even my white grandparents, you know, like, oh, weed, no, but now it's legal, and they're like, hey, you know that CB, the CB stuff, that makes you feel good? You can get some of that stuff. Like, what? Like, you know, a couple years ago, you didn't want nothing to do with anything, and I was trying to offer, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we have some CBD, we have this and that. No, it's illegal, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? Like,
I have family the same way.
If you really take it furthest back, like, I played hella sports growing up. And I played hella sports growing up. My dad kind of introduced me to sports, you know, first started off with baseball, and he was like, you know, like, try soccer, you know what I'm saying? Like, try like a baseball's America's favorite pastime, so play that. 5 years old, play that. 8 years old, he was like, all right, you're half Mexican, like, let's go play some soccer, so started playing soccer, and so now I was playing baseball and soccer, and baseball in different seasons than soccer, so.
Which is dope. You got the hand-eye coordination of baseball and
like hacky sack, I could juggle a ball forever, bro. Like I could throw like amazing, bro. And so boom, boom, and then probably about 10 years old, I got like a little basketball, basketball court for the house, you know what I'm saying? So okay, like, and shit else to do, like it's hard to play baseball by yourself. You can only kick the ball so much by yourself. Like basketball, you can go shoot the ball a damn day by yourself. Like, so got doing with that, whatever, and then starting attracting the kids or whatever. So and then from there got into junior high. My dad used to wrestle. He's like, you should try wrestling. So then got into that. So then from junior high through fucking junior year of high school, I did all 4 sports all year round.
So you was grinding.
And it was just kept me busy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I'd never been in the best shape of my life, you know what I'm saying? And that was mainly because of wrestling. Wrestling for Shelly.
Oh yeah, the cutting weight and all that.
With everybody's at. But I mean, back then though, bro, like it was crazy. Back then I was only 95 pounds.
Oh, okay.
So me making 100, because I want to say it was a 98 was a weight class or something. Like making 98 pounds was nothing. Like I wasn't going nowhere. Like I was fine. You know what I'm saying? So like, but until like once I got into high school, I was like 105s. That was easy to make. You know what I'm saying? And then fucking my dad hit me with. So, everybody wants to be everybody wants to be a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Like either like an NBA athlete or, you know what I'm saying? My dad hit me with the whole like, so you play all these sports year round, you know what I'm saying? But you think you're gonna really be a motherfucking, a professional athlete, you know what I'm saying? Like there's some people who don't put down the glove. There's some people who don't stop kicking the ball, you know what I'm saying? You put it down and you don't pick it up until the nigga comes back around. Damn, you got a point. Like I'm dope at every sport. I'm not the best on the team. I'm not the best person on the team, but I'm up there.
You're one of those key players.
Right. I'm one of those key players, but I'm not like the superstar of the team. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, fuck, like I feel you. Senior year, quit all sports.
Okay.
Took like 3 AP classes. And it's like, fuck it. And I was like, maybe go to college, maybe not. As soon as I graduated high school, I'm like, fuck college. Throughout sports, my dad always had a camera.
Oh, okay.
My dad never really understood. I mean, my dad was dope. He understood. Once he got it, he got it. But, he's like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, let me see. I'll figure this out. Okay, here's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, good luck. Boom. You know what I'm saying? And then he was growing up. I was growing up. When I was like 8, you know what I'm saying? He was only like 27. You know what I'm saying? So 27, like you think you're 27, you're 29 now.
Yeah.
Imagine you have an 8-year-old. Now you imagine you have a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you're going to shows, you're partying, you're moving, you're grooving. You're taking him with you. I grew up with my dad. I was everywhere with my dad, as well as like parties, and we have a big family on the Mexican side, so parties and shit. So I get the camera. So I was the cameraman during the parties. You know what I'm saying? And so after everybody got drunk and the party died down, I would take the camera upstairs in my room, and me and my cousins, we would just kind of film like, we had made this Maury show type thing. I was like interviewing them and shit, and they all put on like different personas and shit. Yeah. But back then, like the editing that we had to do is, all right, do it. Okay, now wait, stop, and then like go and like rewind the tape and stop it there and hit the record. You see what I'm saying? So that's the type of like, and that's when I was like 8, 9, 10, 11. You see what I'm saying? So like, it could have started there, when mine started getting going, and then like 18, 19, 20, 21, started getting drunk and partying like we all do. Yeah. I was like, what the fuck happened at the party last night? Gotta have the camera so we can go and run back to film. Yeah. Got hella footage from hella years ago of just drunk parties. I still got all that footage on hella hard drives. I got hella hard drives. Yeah. Hella footage. And then I met the homie Juice, who is now Cool Key. And he was rapping. I was working at the Apple store. And I was selling these computers. And selling these computers, I got to teach people how to do whatever the hell they want to know. So I knew a little bit of video editing, knew a little bit of audio engineering, I knew a little bit of everything else that the computer did, because Apple does so much in its own, you know what I'm saying? So got to know a little bit of everything. And applied that to my homie rapping. And what we're sitting in now is a very big version of what I had back then. If you go through my YouTube and just go a hell of years back, you'll see like just a one-car garage, a little booth that I built, which is the same formula that booth is in there.
Yeah.
Like, I'll take you in and shit.
Yeah.
Had a booth, had 2 couches, had some cloth for a green screen, and had, you know, and it had 1 graffiti piece.
Oh, okay.
But it was just a 1-car garage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I built that, and we were getting it, you know. People were coming to record. We somehow caught Spice One's attention. He came through. That was kind of a big deal for us.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That footage is online, you know what I'm saying? That was like 8-9 years ago. And we got kicked out of that spot because we were being too loud and the fucking bitch ass neighbor wasn't trying to fucking hear us no more.
Being young, it happens.
Right. And so we got kicked out, and like probably less than a year later, I quit the Apple store, and I got this spot.
And you've just been going hard ever since.
Right, and we go hard ever since.
That's dope, man.
Oh man, it was a Sony for Shelly.
Okay.
Sonys were actually, it could have been a JVC, but from what I recall, it was a Sony.
Dope.
It was crazy how Sony kind of was like the brand, and like out of nowhere, like Canon and Nikon kind of took over, and then like back now,
It's Sony's
Sony back.
Yeah.
You know? And it's dope to me, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, you know, but Sony, I believe
That's
and
pretty
it was,
dope.
It was a Sony. Damn, see, I want to say it was a Handycam, but it wasn't though, because the original from when I was being recorded on initially, it was on tapes. So whatever, I don't know
Which actual version
right,
it was.
I don't know what the hell that was.
Yeah.
But from once I recall, so the day after my 4th birthday, I got in a bad car accident.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, you good.
Yeah.
And
Glad you're here now.
yeah,
Yes.
and there's a scar right here.
Oh, okay.
And after the car accident, when I came to in the hospital, I kind of don't remember anything before that. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That was my 4th birthday, and you know, of course, got into cameras and shit, 5, 6, 7 years old and shit or whatever. But still, it's still all fuzzy for me back there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. But yeah. So.
That's pretty dope. What camera do you like usually operate now?
Sony.
A Sony. Okay, so you just been Sony the whole way through?
No.
Okay.
Son, when I first started getting into cameras, when I first bought my own camera, damn, it was a Sony. My first camera I bought myself was a Sony. But then like when I started taking photos, it for surely was Canon.
Okay.
And then I went to Lumix, and then I went to Sony.
Okay, so you actually been in different cameras. You've seen how they work. You've seen where they compare and where they differentiate. You know?
Sure.
So,
Capital Connection is my brand. It's what I try and do every day is connect people within the capital, and it gets me excited because it's like there's so many dope people that are within this capital as well as within the rest of California, and as well as within every state because every state has a capital, and there's so many dope people in every state, but everybody just needs to be connected.
Definitely.
Like, it's like there's this dude who fucking shreds on the guitar, and he's a black dude, and he fucking climbs fucking big ass AT&T towers like 200 feet in the air and even higher, bro. And like, and like, I think that you two would be dope together. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shred and you rap.
Oh man,
You know what I'm
crazy.
saying?
Yeah.
Just because like you have that look, he almost has that look, but his shred has your look. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. I feel
So
you.
like even just that there, it's like, not to say you wouldn't have eventually thought of that. You see what I'm saying? But like, chances of you meeting this guy, because he's in fucking up towers all goddamn day. You see what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And he's not playing as much as he should be. But we've gotten him out to play for a couple of shows. Whenever we do shows, we like to try and have live music. And because we make a lot of our own music, and we make a lot of our own beats, we like to take out the sounds within the beat that correlate to the live sounds, so that the live instruments can be played, and then whatever live instruments we can't feel, we have that instrument being played electronically.
That's dope.
So it's kind of like the same shit as like a performance track, but a performance track for the beat.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Not
definitely.
just a performance track for the vocals.
Yeah, for sure. Man, that's dope, man. That you guys are building all that here, you know, and you guys have like a compound. You know, a lot of people talk about that. They inspire to do that, and for you guys to actually be in motion and doing something like that, it's inspiring. You know, like especially from somebody like me who's from a small city. You know, I've been to many studios, you know, and seeing something like this, it's dope because I can see how you and your team probably feel at home. You guys could probably just lock in and make the best quality of whatever it is, whether it's clothing, whether it's your music, whether it's you guys shooting a video. It's dope to have that home base to be able to gather all your thoughts and go attack. You know?
Just knowing your ledge, you know,
Yeah.
aka your knowledge, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, and it's
Yeah.
just knowing your ledge, and knowing, you know, like how far is too far. You know, sometimes your tipping point is not as close or as far as others. So sometimes you're only going as far as the next person is because that's their ledge. So know your ledge. If your ledge is further, go. You know.
Yeah.
But if you don't even know where your ledge is, then you don't even know how far you could really push yourself.
Yeah.
So, you know, just know your ledge. You know your
That's
ledge
dope.
for yourself as well as for, you know, for your others, but for yourself on both ways. So you don't push yourself too far as well as so you know how far you can push. There's no right or wrong answer to art. So like branding is art. Like all this creating product and everything is all art. There's no right or wrong answer. What's
Yeah.
gonna work and not work? Who fucking knows? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like some, I don't want to say retarded, my bad, but some retarded shit fucking sticks, and it's like how, why, you know? And we don't fucking know. There's no math that. There's no fucking trend set. There's no anything that's gonna do this and this is gonna work 100% of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like some people it does, some people it doesn't. How, why, we don't fucking know. You know? So it's art. There's no right or wrong answer. But the other side of that, my strategy is brand the shit out of everything. You know what I'm saying? Try and get your logo on everything. There's this movie called Exit Through the Gift Shop. Have you seen it?
No.
Go watch it.
I will.
Take note of it and go watch it. When you're editing this,
For sure.
boom, take note, go watch it. Exit Through the Gift Shop. And basically it is about street artists. Banksy is in there. You know who Banksy is?
I believe so, from like London. Yeah.
So Banksy's in there, and it's the whole documentary is being filmed from a French gentleman, and he has his camera and he records all day, every day. He has a room with just tapes. I mean, stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like the watch it is very.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check that out.
But within that, Shepard Fairey. You know who Shepard Fairey is?
No.
Shepard Fairey is the creator of OB.
Okay, for sure.
You know OB?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So Shepard Fairey is a street artist who started doing that, and he initially started with putting up what is that called? Paper with the motherfucking paper mache shit. You know?
Yeah.
So he would do that as well as paint the face of Andre the Giant, the wrestler.
Okay, yeah.
And so amongst that, his philosophy or what he would try and do is he was saying that perceived power, real power comes from perceived power, right? So by people seeing this logo everywhere and not knowing exactly what it is, but because they keep seeing it, they're gonna perceive it as being powerful. So it's gonna gain power just from perceived power.
Yeah.
So that, you know, and basically with that it's in my eyes, the same shit. Like, put your logo everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere you fucking can. You know what I'm saying? Like, that bandana should have your logo. That shit should have your logo.
Yeah.
These pants, your logo. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And there are brands out there that sell non-branded shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you can easily start with just buying a blank sweater and putting the logo on it. Next, definitely, is finding a seamstress and finding some fabric and customizing the whole sweater and having it cut and sewn and doing something.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
It's steps for sure.
I mean, yeah, and I mean, just know that, you know, right now what I do, I'm a one-man band. You know, sound like a one-man band. I know my ledge, and I know that with a one-man band, a movie is not possible.
Yeah, yeah.
A team is possible.
Yeah.
And so trying to acquire those people to get there is definitely a goal of mine. Audio has a very, very, very big deal when making movies. Audio is one of the biggest, next to lighting. Other than that, camera is very, very last. But yeah, you know, so I know I got my part down.
Yeah.
Because it's the last, it's the camera. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
You know, so
yeah.
like it's not, and that's the very last part of it. You know what I'm saying? Everything else needs to be perfected.
Yeah.
So, but audio being close to number one.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
so once I find and once I have Colt 45 in my studio, and he does a great job at the studio. We've worked on a couple of tracks that he's done, some scoring too,
That's dope.
and some additional sounds. And sounds good, looks good, still can be worked on. But it's just we just have to do more of them, you know, rather than waiting for those paid gigs. We have to utilize some downtime that we have and create and just trial and error, and just sharpen our blade so that when our next paid gig comes, we're able to knock it out the park even more, because then that specific project is going to be that much more promoted. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, and I think that's the same with a lot of people. They're like, how do I get better? And really, it's like, do it every day. You know, like don't wait until your next paid gig to try it. You know, like go try it right now. Go to the lab. This is a lab. In the lab, you trial and error shit. You know what I'm saying? You have different experiments. Like experiment. You know what I'm saying?
Hell
Just
yeah.
try shit. So we would do kind of like all the hood celebrities, and all the hood celebrities. So like rappers and producers, and you know just people who used to be ball players, and people who went off to college and you know didn't make it all the way to the NBA or whatnot, things like that. You know, so they'd come out and play. All the families would come around in the bleachers, watch them play. We would take the money and buy hella toys, and probably about like 80 kids and about like 200-300 toys. And all the kids would basically hop in line from shortest to tallest, and they would just go and just take all the toys until they all ran out. You know, had a Santa Claus there that was assisting with the toys and shit, and it was dope. It was a dope environment. We had music, we had a DJ. Normally we would have like a comedian who would be like the host and the entertainer who would commentate on the game.
That's
like,
dope.
oh, we just throw the ball, and
That's like that and one old school style. You feel me?
Exactly, you know. And yeah, and we used to do that for you know Christmases, and except COVID stopped, you know. And we also used to do COVID stopped it, a kickball game, and during the kickball game we do that during September for back to school.
Okay.
And we give away you know books and backpacks and notebooks and papers and pens and erasers and pencil boxes and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Get them right.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And but basically it was a kickball game. So same idea with the basketball game, but just kickball. You know?
And those things are essential, man, especially for young kids. You know that sometimes either their parents are at work, and sometimes in the most unfortunate cases, their parents aren't there at all. And to be able to have little events like that in your neighborhood or, you know, within the surrounding community, and being able to see your friends, and especially since COVID, they're basically only seeing each other on Zoom.
Right.
You know, so for them to be able to do something like that will definitely put those smiles on those faces, and, you know, get people just back in those good spirits, man, because I feel like every hood right now needs something like that, you know, with all the, I mean, COVID spiked everything up, whether it be crime, whether it be, you know, depression, everything. It spiked everything up. So I love that you're doing stuff like that, because somebody out there that's going to watch this and say, oh, I need to do that in my community too. And hopefully reach out, maybe even reach out to you and see how they can even get those ideas going. And yeah, because man, like I said, it's vital. I remember being a kid, you know, being in the neighborhood, and they used to have like the little Boys and Girls Club on my block used to have like little breakdancing competitions and, you know, just shit like that, and basketball tournaments or whatever, you know. And if I didn't have those, who knows what we would have got into, you know. We probably would have just been running around the streets acting them up, you know. So to be able to do that and to be able to provide that service, man, I definitely want to salute you, because that's a big thing, you know. And hopefully we can encourage more people to do, you know, more philanthropy like that, you know. That it just takes one little event, and then it snowballs, you know. Like you said, you've been doing it consecutively, you know.
Shout out Matt Kerr. He's the pioneer on that. You know, I just assist him on his doings, because he does a lot, and he just needs help with, you know, organizing and getting everything together and making sure shit flows how it's supposed to. And you know, as many people, I'm a big believer in like a footprint. If the footprint can be a large footprint, we've done a great job. You know, so it's like share the platform. You know, when you share the platform, the footprint's bigger. So now it's impacting more and more people are able to help impact. You know, and that's that capital connection again. You know, like trying to just connect everybody within the capital so that we can all make a footprint and an everlasting footprint. That's really it. Just do and keep going forward. That's it. Just keep progressing forward and just do it. You know what I'm saying? And do it to the best of your ability. Because there's no right or wrong answer. There's gonna be opinions. Fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Like people are gonna put their judgment out there. That's what people do. Like, just take it as a grain of salt and be like, alright, like you hear it out though. It might be some real shit.
For sure.
So if it's some real shit, keep that. But if it's not some real shit, just brush it off. Like it ain't shit.
Man, I appreciate you letting me in here, man, and just being able to sit here with you, man. It was a dope interview. Man, this dude is like really tripping me out. I'm like, I've never had a dog like me so much, so I'm like, okay.
He just knows it's camera time and he knows you're the host. I'm telling you, like, he's a camera dog. It's crazy. I don't know how he became so good at it, but he's a camera dog.
So, man, can you tell the people out there where to find you on social media and stuff like that?
Yeah, everything is BUB S.O.P. BUB's my nickname, S.O.P. It's Superior of Productions, so BUB S.O.P. And Instagram. I got a Twitter, barely use it. Facebook, I don't know, everything else. I don't know. YouTube, BUB S.O.P. Everything is BUB S.O.P.
Yeah, okay. So you already know, man, this is BUB S.O.P. This is Johnny Boy Lopez. It's the homie right here.
Mr. Toshiko Kozo.
Toshiko Kozo.
Japanese.
I probably slaughtered that. I apologize, but man, thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
Capital Connection, tap in. You already know what it is. Johnny Boy Lopez.